flow.
There is definitely on this part of the circuit a dry line appearance. This Harmon was in turn one, but 19 laps ago. Here is Petrucci having a great ride in fourth place, because missing those early rounds of the championship with that horrible hand injury following that testing accident at Phillip Island in Australia. He is a rain master, but are we going to have any more rain? Or is the track really starting to dry? I get the feeling it is starting to dry.
It is. He was the first man in the 149s in this race. Petrucci is the first man in the 148s. He's got that gap down to Dovizioso to just 2.3 seconds. What about Hernandez? Yeah, he's still managing that gap, 2.4 seconds over Rossi, who can't in turn shake off the attention of Dovizioso. Lorenzo watch, that's at 18th place for Lorenzo. He's 2 seconds off the pace and under real pressure now from Hector Barbara. Lorenzo could be dropping back down to 19th very, very shortly.
Isn't it amazing? Everybody now, they're watching Ioni Hernandez action, but they're really watching the two tyres and how much spray, or if any spray is there. We go back with Valentino Rossi. There is Rossi. Hernandez has already gone through. This is the bolt corner. So they're down at the far end of the circuit where he's probably at his wettest, I would think, at one stage. But again, let me go through Mandevane, through Dukersloot. Now they're going to start the run back towards the start and finish. This is Petrucci. Let's just keep an eye on those track conditions. There's a dry line there without a doubt. And look at this. Up through the ramp truck, up towards the chicane. They're going to come in soon, I think, Dylan. How is it down there?
Oh, it's quite tense. You've got all the guys ready. I mean, you've got the Iannoni's bike, you've got Dobby's bike. You can see the carbon discs.
Oh, sí.
They're ready, they're good to go. But of course, they need to wait until the rider decides to come in.
And they don't get an indication, I suppose, when the rider's going to come in.
No, not at all. But, they essentially see it, or you just hear the big buzz down in pit lane that someone is coming in, and of course they'll have communication on pit floor telling them exactly when their rider's supposed to be coming round, and then they've got to be so quick.
Yeah, as we suspected, this track is drying up really fast. The top 6 riders now all in the 148s for the first time. Cal Crutchlow also did a 148 last time around. In fact, Crutchlow was 2.4 seconds faster than Pedrosa last time out. So Crutchlow looks like he'll be taking 9th place from a fading Pedrosa.
Here is Dovizioso, and there is a little of a gap now between him and Valentino Rossi, and he is starting to come under pressure from Danilo Petrucci.
Rossi has massively gapped Dovizioso in that first set. So they came over the line. He was 2/10 of a second quicker than Dovizioso. Now Rossi's taken half a second out of him. Is it just starting to...
Is that rain? Is that
difficult to say, isn't it?
It
Might be
is.
those few spots.
Yeah, it could just be something, it could be insects, anything else on the screen, but
It looks like it's visibly gone darker, though, at the top end of that circuit. Doesn't it?
Absolutely.
The umbrellas are going up in the background. Yeah. The umbrellas are going up. It looks like it's raining again.
it certainly does down at Mandevane and Dickersloop. Looks like the guys in pit lane can stand down for a minute. Here we go, flag is out. The rain has returned. Ioni Hernandez can still do this, but there's a master plan going on at the moment from the master, number 46.
If we've got nobody in the open air here on the run down to the first corner at the moment that's putting up any umbrellas. It's all at the top end of the circuit. Hernandez is over the line. 39s. What about Rossi? Rossi went down to a 150.3, 3.6 seconds now the lead that Hernandez has over Rossi. Here comes Danilo Petrucci. He's right back in contention for this podium.
And do bear in mind, if it starts raining, it starts drizzling just a tiny little bit on this slightly dry line towards the end of the race, that is probably when you would start to see the advantage of those harder ups and rears. But as I'm talking, it's now starting to rain in pit lane.
Cal Crutchlow really on a charge now, up into 8th place, Crutchlow. But it's all eyes now are on the sky. There is Hernandez, there is Rossi, Dovizioso and Petrucci.
Crutchlow's got into a brilliant rhythm. Did a 149.8 last time around. He's quicker than Marquez and Iannoni in front of him, as is Scott Rennie. Look at Dovizioso. Rossi's riding a bit tentative in this wet part of the circuit because Dovizioso's clawed back half a second immediately. Look at those dark clouds amassing on the right hand side of your screen now. It's pouring down the top end of the circuit. You can quite clearly see we've got heavy rain falling. Look at that. You can see now the riders are they're causing spray. We didn't see that 2 or 3 laps ago. It's pouring down up at Dukersloot and Mandevane.
Here they come down to there, Rossi and Dovizioso. I thought Rossi had gone away from Dovizioso. Dovizioso is right with him now. Danilo Petrucci, we know in fourth place, is very, very good in the wet. Could Yoni Hernandez pull this off? Has he played the absolute master stroke? It would be, well, in the 86 years of racing here, certainly since I've had a Grand Prix, it would be the most amazing victory of victories.
It would be one of the biggest shocks, I think, in the 20 years I've been covering Grand Prix racing. Let's not forget, the last time a non-factory rider won a Premier Class MotoGP race, it was 10 years ago. Tony Elias at the Portuguese Grand Prix in Estoril, a decade since a non-factory rider has won a MotoGP race.
Vizioso up into second, sorry to butt in Dylan. Off you go.
Sorry guys, I just wanted to say, you know, this is now not light rain, it is now really bucketing it down. This is what it was like before the riders had even gone out, so the riders have not ridden in this kind of rain so far this weekend.
Oh, it's like a monsoon down in the first sector now. You see Valentino Rossi, he just got a little bit cautious, and Dovizioso's pounced. Dovizioso up in the second place.
And if Yoni Hernandez now has quite a bit of rubber left on that softer option rear tyre, and you know the likes of Danny Pedrosa as well, that now could seriously play in their favour if it keeps raining like this.
Petrucci is
Saudara,